At first, I told myself I was imagining it, that it was just loud music, a crowded room, and harmless conversation, that my wife was allowed to laugh with someone without it meaning anything. But then she leaned in again. Not just to hear him, her hand stayed on his arm. Her head tilted the way it used to when she was flirting with me back when we first met. The man beside her smiled like he'd won something, and the way she smiled back made my stomach drop. I froze for a second, holding my drink like I'd forgotten how to move. My chest tightened and I tried to act normal, like I wasn't watching the most painful thing I'd seen in years. It wasn't just that she was talking to another man, it was how comfortable she looked doing it. How alive, how free. The party was at our friends Jason and Mia's house. Small gathering, familiar faces, nothing wild. I'd been looking forward to it because lately my wife and I felt stuck in routine. Work, sleep, chores, repeat. I thought a night out might help. She looked beautiful when we left home. Simple black dress, soft perfume, hair done just enough to remind me of the woman I first fell for. On the drive there, she was in a good mood, even playful. She held my hand at a red light. She laughed at my stupid jokes. That's why it hit so hard when I saw her with him. I had stepped into the kitchen for a moment to grab more drinks. When I came back, I expected to see her near the group we knew. Instead, she was in the living room near the back, talking to a man I didn't recognize. At first, it didn't bother me. People meet, people talk, that's a party. But then I noticed how close they stood, too close for strangers. Their faces were only inches apart. She laughed and touched his arm, not once but like it was natural, like it was normal for her to do that. My mind tried to defend her. It's nothing, stop being insecure. But then he leaned toward her ear and whispered something. And she didn't step back. She smiled slow, soft, and leaned closer. My stomach turned. I felt heat rising in my face and my hands clenched without me realizing. I wanted to walk over. I wanted to place my hand on her back, remind her I was there, remind him too, but something held me still. Pride. Fear. I didn't want to look jealous in front of everyone. I didn't want to start a scene, and deep down I didn't want to see her reaction up close. What if she looked annoyed? I interrupted. What if she didn't pull away? What if I realized this wasn't harmless at all? So I stood there, watching like a fool. She laughed again and he laughed back like he was already comfortable around her, like he belonged in her space. He watched her the way a man watches a woman he wants, and the worst part was she didn't stop it. She didn't create distance. She didn't look uncomfortable. She looked entertained. After a few minutes, she glanced around and her eyes met mine. For half a second, her smile faded. Not guilt exactly, more like surprise, like she forgot I existed until she saw me standing there. Then she stepped back quickly, adjusted her hair, and walked toward me like nothing happened. Hey, she said, linking her arm through mine. Where'd you go? Her tone was casual, almost sweet. It made me feel crazy. I forced a small smile. Kitchen. She nodded like that explained everything. Fun night, right? I looked past her. The man was watching us and he gave a tiny smile that made my skin crawl. I asked quietly, who was that? She glanced back. Oh, Mark, friend of Jason, he's funny. Just like that, Mark, funny, nothing. I wanted to push. I wanted to say you were flirting with him in front of me, but I swallowed it. Not here, not at a party. The rest of the night, I couldn't relax. My wife stayed closer to me after that, but it felt forced, like she was trying to look innocent, like she knew she crossed a line and was trying to smooth it over. We left around midnight. In the car, she hummed along to the radio like the night was normal, like my heart wasn't still pounding. I kept both hands on the wheel and stared at the road. Silence filled the car. She didn't seem to notice. When we got home, she kicked off her shoes and said, that was fun. I didn't answer. She looked at me. What's wrong? I took a breath. You were really close to that guy. Her face changed immediately, annoyance first, then a cold kind of disbelief. Oh my God, she said. Are you serious? We were just talking. I nodded. It didn't look like just talking. She rolled her eyes. You're being paranoid. That word hit me like a slap. Paranoid. Like I imagined my own eyes. I said I saw you leaning into him, touching him, laughing. Stop, she snapped. You're acting insecure. Paranoid, insecure. She didn't deny it. She labeled me. I felt something shift in me. If it was nothing, I asked, why did you step back the moment you saw me? She went quiet. For a second, she looked caught. Then she said, because I knew you'd make it into a problem. That made my chest hurt, because it meant she knew it looked wrong, she just didn't want to deal with it. That night we slept in the same bed, but it didn't feel like it. She turned away. I stared at the ceiling. I kept seeing her smile at him, her hand on his arm, the way she looked excited in a way she hadn't looked with me in months. By morning, nothing felt the same. She walked into the kitchen making coffee like everything was fine, like she expected me to forget. I couldn't. I asked, "Are you happy?" She paused, "What?" I repeated it, "Are you happy with me?" She sighed like I was exhausting her. "Why are you asking that?" I said, "Because you don't look at me the way you looked at him." That stopped her. For once, she didn't have an instant comeback. She sat down slowly and her shoulders dropped. "I've been feeling invisible lately," she admitted. Invisible? The irony almost broke me because that's exactly how I felt at that party, watching her give her attention to someone else. I asked, "So you flirt with strangers to feel seen?" "I wasn't flirting," she said, but her voice wasn't strong. I leaned forward, "Then what was it?" She didn't answer right away, then she whispered, "It just felt nice to be noticed." That sentence changed everything. Because it told me the truth. It wasn't about Mark. It was about what she wasn't getting from me or what we weren't giving each other anymore. I wanted to defend myself, list everything I do, the life I provide, the responsibilities I carry. But deep down, I knew love isn't measured in bills paid. It's measured in attention, effort, presence. And we had stopped giving each other that. I asked her if she would have kept talking to him like that if I hadn't seen it. Well, she hesitated. That hesitation was the loudest sound in the room. I stood up slowly, feeling tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. "We need to change something," I said, "because I'm not going to live like this." She started crying and said she didn't mean to hurt me. I believed her, but intention doesn't undo damage. That morning, everything felt different, not because we screamed or broke up, but because we finally saw what was happening. We were drifting, and if we didn't face it, the next time it wouldn't just be flirting at a party. It would be a secret, a lie, a door closing behind her. And I wasn't willing to wait for that.